This is a Bears town. We worship great defense. We appreciate frigid temperatures when our 11 are battling their 11 on the lakefront in January. We love a helmet with a chunk of fresh turf lodged in it. This is a Bears town. And we are the new home of the Bears. ESPN Chicago.
Have funding for books, computers, and so much more just because of where they live. You can help change that. Donors Choose is a nonprofit that lets you support students and teachers in your community and beyond. You choose which supplies to support. You could provide first graders with pencils and paper, or other students with their first chapter books, help a music class get a guitar.
You could even supply a classroom like mine with a science project. But what you're really giving is the moment that sparks a brighter tomorrow.
To learn more, please visit DonorsChoose.org. That's DonorsChoose.org. Choose students. Shape the future.
This is ESPN Chicago, WNVP, WTBC, HD2 Chicago, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Coming up on SportsCenter all night. Top American League teams face off in Detroit.
Swinging a high fly ball left field. Loper Fido and Luke's going back at the fence, looking up. Gone! Jahmai Jones with his second home run in the last 3 days.
We recap the latest news and buzz from NFL training camps.
10 in, ready to play another 10. But I want that first and foremost now. And that is the urgency that I carry with just the love and the passion of this game is not only one to win for myself, but one win for this organization. It's been, damn long enough.
The Aces look to get their 4th straight win as they battle the fever.
Indiana's been up 8. They've been down 8. They trail by 3. Final 10 seconds. Young steps into a 3 and knocks it down.
Plus, remembering the legacy of WWE legend Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan's lasting legacy will be that it was probably the greatest professional wrestler of all time. I'm not just talking in-ring performance. I'm talking about the way that he brought our industry into the mainstream, where people in every country on this earth would know the name Hulk Hogan.
From the worldwide headquarters of ESPN, this is SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Judson Richards.
SportsCenter all night, ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 88. Training camp injury scare flared up on Thursday. The baseball trade deadline showed life, and the pro wrestling world says goodbye to a Titan. That's all coming up on this edition of SportsCenter all night. To the Diamond we go. Only 6 teams in baseball entered Thursday with 60 wins or more. 2 of those teams squared off in Detroit. The Tigers and the Blue Jays. Toronto, a 4-game lead in the AL East. Detroit entered play reeling, losers of 9 of their last 10. Despite that, Tigers held an 8-game lead in the AL Central. To the highlights now, top of the 6th inning. Jay showing why they lead the East.
1-0. Hit in the air. Deep left field. Going back, Riley Green. At the wall. It's gone. Clement making him pay for the intentional walk to Barger. A 3-run homer, and the Blue Jays have blown it open, leading 4-1 in the top of the 6th. Olsen's pitch. Hit in the air, right center. Moving back to the wall. Perez. That ball's way out of here. Back-to-back blast for the Blue Jays. Loper Fido's second of the season. It's 5-1 in Detroit.
The call on Sportsnet 590, The Fan. Blue Jays are surging. Winners now of 19 of their last 24, including this 11-4 drubbing of the fledgling Tigers. Blue Jays second baseman Ernie Clement spoke to Rogers Sportsnet after the game.
Listen, you're in the on-deck circle, and you watch Addison Barger get intentionally walked for the 4th time this season. What's going through your head at that point, and did it change what you were thinking as you're approaching your plate appearance?
Yeah, I mean, that's the book that's what the book says. If I was managing over there, I would have done the same thing. But, yeah, I mean, I locked in, and I had a good approach there and got the job done.
He gave you a first pitch slider for a ball. How much were you expecting back-to-back sliders given what you'd seen from him throughout the ball game?
Yeah, I hit a fastball my bat prior, so I was kind of ready for the slider.
Listen, Addison Barger with a triple. You saw Joey Loperfido with a home run. Nathan Lucas with a home run. What excites you about coming to the ballpark with the way you guys have been playing recently?
Yeah, well, Joey and I going back-to-back is kind of cool. I was pumped about that. But yeah, we're just playing really good baseball. We're playing winning baseball, and it's 1 through 9. We keep saying it, but it's everybody.
Speaking of one, how about Eric Lauer? 8 innings, 1 earned run, just that home run in the first inning, 6 strikeouts. What are you seeing from him as you're playing behind him there in the infield?
Yeah, he's steady Eddie. He's just locked in and throwing really, really well, and he gives us a chance to win every time he's out there. So that's all you can really ask.
Before I go, we told the bat story in the broadcast. You said that the Phil Clark bat died a hero. What bat did you use tonight and why, and are you going to keep it?
Yeah, my first at bat, which I got out, I used Pavin Smith, an old college teammate of mine, and then I used Bose the rest of the game, and that had some luck in it. So I think I'm going to keep rolling with that.
That was Ernie Clement. Toronto's lead in the East climbs to 4.5 games now above the New York Yankees. Another American League East versus Central matchup. Cleveland Guardians hosting the Baltimore Orioles. Good one here, tied at 3 in the 7th inning. A runner on for Gunnar Henderson.
1-1. Henderson, a looper into right field. That's a base hit and an RBI. Jackson scores, and motoring to third is Westberg, and Henderson scoots up to second as the throw goes to third base. A huge RBI base hit for Gunnar Henderson, and it's 4-3 Baltimore.
Heard on WBAL, Orioles starter Charlie Morton matched his longest start of the season, going 6 1/3, helping the Orioles knock off the Guardians 4-3. We are just now in the final week of baseball's trade deadline. The first notable move, perhaps the one to start the domino effect, happened on Thursday. The Arizona Diamondbacks are sellers, sending first baseman Josh Naylor to the Seattle Mariners. In return, the Diamondbacks received 2 pitching prospects, left-hander Brandon Garcia and right-hander Ashton Izzy. More on that in a moment. Mariners at the start of the day, 6 games back of the Astros, perhaps eyeing the wild card. Seattle in action on Thursday night in Anaheim to face the Angels, top of the 5th for the M's offense.
I'd love to land a knockout blow. Take him out of the ball game right here.
And the wind blowing out to left field. That would help a little bit. There goes Cal. Pitch on the way. Swinging a line shot deep down the left field line. Has it enough? Yes, it is. Goodbye, baseball. It clears the short fence in the left field corner. A rocket line drive. 2-run home run off the bat of Randy Arozarena.
The call on Seattle Sports 7:10 a.m. Polanco and Rodriguez also homered for the Mariners. Seattle doubles up on the Angels with a final of 4-2. Let's get some reaction to the Diamondbacks dealing Josh Naylor to the Mariners and what this could mean for Diamondbacks third baseman Eugenio Suarez with his 36 home runs and league-leading 83 RBIs. Here's MLB insider Jeff Passan on SportsCenter.
Everything starts with Eugenio Suarez, the third baseman for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and a home run hitter nonpareil. The fact that he is available right now is huge for contenders that need third basemen, like the Chicago Cubs, like the Seattle Mariners, and like the New York Yankees. Early on, though, the Yankees' interest in Suarez has not been as overwhelming as expected. It's the sort of thing, of course, that could change before the deadline.
As for starting pitching available at the deadline, Passan says keep an eye on this Royals starter.
On the pitching side, Seth Lugo from the Kansas City Royals. Look, the Royals don't want to sell. The Royals want to contend to have their second consecutive playoff appearance, but Lugo is going to be a free agent after this season, has a sub-3 ERA, has been fantastic all year long, and unless Kansas City just keeps winning for the rest of the week and all the way up through the deadline, it would just make sense for a Royals team to go out and move Lugo to one of the many contenders that are looking for starting pitching.
Now, ESPN MLB insider Buster Olney this week on ESPN Radio's Clinton and Friends on what GM may be feeling the most heat to make a splash.
It's Yankees general manager Brian Cashman. He's trying to get the Yankees back to the World Series after what they did last year. They got Aaron Judge having one of the great seasons of all time, and so he has distinct needs. third base, which is why they're involved in the Suarez conversation. He needs a starting pitcher because of the injuries they've had to Garrett Cole and Clark Schmidt. He absolutely needs bullpen help. I mean, really, all the contenders, including the Tigers, are looking for power arms. And so I think Brian, who's been in this position before, it's not going to bother him that, the outside pressure. But their farm system is in a better place than where it was last year. They're in a better position to make trades, and I think he will. If the Diamondbacks are going to wind up being the biggest seller, I think the Yankees will wind up being the most significant buyer.
Again, the trade deadline is July 31st at 6 p.m. Eastern Time.
Justin Fields will sign a 2-year, $40 million deal with the Jets.
He's reuniting with Garrett Wilson, who we played with at Ohio State. The Jets have a new quarterback, and we'll see how it goes.
Look, if he doesn't take advantage of this one, then people are going to start saying, Justin, you are who you are.
Social media was abuzz on Thursday morning with the news that Jets quarterback Justin Fields was carted off the practice field with an apparent injury. Head coach Aaron Glenn gave an update on Fields after practice.
Went down with toe in the right side of his foot. Listen, I don't know the severity of the injury, but I do know it's a toe on his right side. Listen, we have a outstanding backup in Tyrod, who's been in this league for around 14 years. So the leadership that he brings, listen, we're all good. You know what? I really have to look at the tape. I know it's a quick throw. I'm assuming someone stepped on his toe. It had to be because of the nature of the call that we had as far as offensive play call. So, again, I want to look at the tape and be sure.
Let's get more on when we can see Justin Fields back out there. ESPN NFL reporter Rich Cimini on SportsCenter gave us the latest.
This was an emotional roller coaster for the Jets and their fans today. It was pretty concerning around 9:30 when he limped off with the help of a trainer and then, of course, carted off to the locker room. But by noon, the Jets were starting to get some positive reports, and they knew he would not miss significant time. Social media was ablaze with panic when this first happened. Mind you, this is a Jet fan base that is still dealing with the scar tissue from the Aaron Rodgers Achilles injury 2 years ago, so they're thinking, oh, no, not again. But like I said, by noon, getting positive reports. He's day-to-day. It's not a major injury. Conceivably, he could be back on the practice field next week. He will miss some key reps. He needs as many reps as he can get in this new offense. But all things considered, considering the Jets' history and everything, they're breathing a sigh of relief today for sure.
Host of ESPN Radio's Freddie and Harry, Freddie Coleman, says the Jets should be feeling confident about their quarterback situation.
This is another instance where if you're the New York Jets, you got to have a quality backup quarterback. And they have one in Tyrod Taylor. I'd be in more of a panic mode if the backup quarterback was Zach Wilson. I'd be more of a panic mode if the backup quarterback was, let's say, like a Joe Flacco, for example, who still can play a little bit, but he's well past his due date. So by making sure that you have that quality backup quarterback who's played in that kind of system, who's played in that city, and played for that organization. So whatever time he's going to miss, you got a guy, Tyrod Taylor, who will be on the field and say, hey, Justin, when this happens, look out for this. And Justin Fields has shown he's been a very astute student with this offense and a team having that support behind him.
Now to the former Jets quarterback, Pittsburgh Steelers QB Aaron Rodgers, who was active at practice for the first time and spoke to the media afterwards. Rodgers says the Steelers are one of only about a third of the league that can win it all.
I think most of the 32 teams would probably say something to that accord at this time of the year. But I think that there's really only 6 to 8 that really have a legitimate chance. Sometimes it's 10 to 12, and there's teams that surprise you. But I would say on paper, we're probably one of those 10 to 12.
So is Rodgers heading into this season really believing that this is his last?
Is that a decision to make maybe at the end of the process? Yeah, I might go into the season like that. Might not.
Let's get some more on Rodgers. ESPN NFL reporter Brooke Pryor says Rodgers is staying close to his biggest target.
He said that that's something that's going to help build their rapport together, that they can spend time just, catching up after practice, learning to pick each other's brains. And they're definitely going to need that because Rodgers' start to training camp practice today was a little rocky. His first pass attempt of his first team period as a Pittsburgh Steeler was picked off by Patrick Queen. But I asked him if that is a bad omen for the rest of his Steelers tenure. And he laughed and he said, no, it's good to get that out of the way. So this is when he's going to be testing to see what he can get away with. And he said, yeah, I'm going to throw some picks, but I'm also going to throw some touchdowns too.
Again, that report from Brooke Pryor, Aaron Rodgers is rooming with DK Metcalf. And on ESPN Radio's Unsportsmanlike, host Chris Canty, he's not a believer in this Steelers team.
The Pittsburgh Steelers finished last in the AFC North, and the franchise and Mike Tomlin mutually agreed to part ways after the season. This has a lot less to do with confidence in the Cleveland Browns and more to do with a lack of confidence in the Pittsburgh Steelers and what they got going on this year. Oldest team in the AFC, second oldest team in the entire league, and the most expensive defense in the entire league. And a washed up Aaron Rodgers going into his age 42 season. In what world is that a formula for success in today's game?
Roommates DK and Aaron and the Steelers open the season against the Jets on Sunday, September 7th. Now to the Las Vegas Raiders, who made the decision to release defensive tackle Christian Wilkins. Wilkins has been recovering from a Jones fracture, which he suffered in his left foot last October. Now, the Raiders say because of how Wilkins has treated the rehab from his injury, they've voided the remaining $35.2 million of guaranteed money left on his contract. The belief was that Wilkins needed another surgery on his foot. He balked at getting it, reportedly. The Raiders then voided the guaranteed money left on his deal due to failure to maintain his physical condition to play. Wilkins had 50 days from June 4th to ask the NFLPA to file a grievance on his behalf, and the union did so Thursday. That was the last day they were eligible to do so. The next step will be a hearing. Staying in the AFC West now, Kansas City Chiefs training camp underway. Tight end Travis Kelce reportedly coming into camp 25 pounds lighter. Head coach Andy Reid was asked if he's noticed a difference in Kelce.
Yeah, he's svelte right now. It looks like he's 20. He's doing a good job. He's in great shape. And I'm not sure he didn't come in first on the whole conditioning thing. He was right up front. You can see he's been working out. You saw him yesterday on the long one where he had the burst. And so he's done a nice job. He's worked hard to get to this spot here. So.
Host of ESPN Radio's Freddie and Harry Douglas on First Take says, watch out for KC.
I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs. And one of the reasons why I'm going with them is because they have been to 7 straight AFC Championship game appearances. They have played in 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls. They still have Andy Reid as their head coach. They still have Patrick Mahomes as their quarterback. They got better on the offensive line. But I love the simple fact that you have Xavier Worthy at the wide receiver position. When you talk about this offense and the non-explosion that they had a season ago, I believe that explosiveness is going to be back within the Kansas City Chiefs. Hollywood Brown, number one.
The players, or do you think there's an urgency now? Like, hey, this is not, or they've changed they might have changed their style. Maybe they're not the explosive team that they used to.
Coming up next, the Padres are trying to keep pace with the Dodgers out west. How they fare against the Cardinals. We'll get back to baseball. Coming up, this is SportsCenter All Night on ESPN Radio.
This weekend on ESPN Radio, 2 teams in the hunt for October go head-to-head.
Juan Soto ties the game.
The New York Mets are in San Francisco to face the Giants. Coverage begins tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern and Sunday at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Presented by Progressive Insurance. More SportsCenter All Night coming up next.
Carmen and Yurko.
Yurko's like the only guy who somehow is not putting money in Jeff Bezos'
I've never flown in his flying penises that he had. They're odd-shaped.
Yeah, they are.
Phallic-like symbols.
It's like something out of Austin Powers.
I have no want to go out of the atmosphere.
Really? To say you went
Even
to
if it was
space?
free. I don't want to go there. I'm happy on Earth.
Get Carmen and Yurko podcasts at your favorite pod place or on the ESPN Chicago app. Carmen and Yurko, weekdays noon to 3, ESPN Chicago.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
From Professor Carmen DeFalco.
Not too many people that can have sports knowledge and also whiskey bourbon knowledge.
Carmen's amazing. I do like whiskeys and bourbons. Still kind of a novice, and he helps me understand a little bit better what I should be looking for.
I'm a hardcore bourbon guy, and I listen to Carmen Yurko every day. He can pull out the very essentials that I can't even taste.
Stay tuned for details on the next session of SCU, an ESPN Chicago production.
Once there was a man who couldn't stand.
A mom who couldn't wait.
A scientific community that said it couldn't be done.
And then you.
And then I. And then we.
Brought neuromuscular disease into screaming color with the Muscular Dystrophy Association.
For 75 years, our voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
We've willed the impossible into existence.
We've pushed the science,
raised the funds,
shifted the narrative,
and transformed the reality of life with neuromuscular diseases.
For 75 years, we've built communities together.
Established the field of neuromuscular medicine,
and made it thrive.
Call that a legacy.
Call it impact.
Call it momentum.
Just call it ours.
Because it's the generations of community heroes that give MDA the strength we have today.
And until neuromuscular disease is a thing of the past, you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
Carmen and Yurko. Weekdays, now noon to 3 on Chicago's home for sports, ESPN Chicago.
Listening to Sports Center all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Judson Richards.
ESPN Radio presented by Progressive Insurance. We'll cover the slate of games in the WNBA shortly, but back to baseball we go. Padres and the Cardinals in St. Louis, and the Cards got off to a big offensive start in this one.
Darvish with the pitch. Contreras swings and he hits it deep. Left center field. That ball's going to leave the yard. Home run Contreras. 3 more on the board. 7-2 Cardinals in the second.
The call on the Cardinals radio network. Padres trying to inch back in it. San Diego trying to keep up after an early home run barrage by those Cardinals. We go to the third.
Padres down 7-3, and the pitch to Manny hit in the air to right center field, tailing away from Scott. He's on the move. He looks up. It's going to go. 2-run homer the other way for Manny Machado. Padres have answered right back, and this is a 2-run game.
The call on 97.3, The Fan. Padres pull within 1 in the 6th, but it was more Cardinals offense.
The pitch by Peralta, a swing, a drive, left field toward the seats, and it's gone. A line drive home run for Herrera. The Cardinals lead by 2 again. It's 9-7 in St. Louis.
Heard on Cardinals Radio Network, Padres couldn't overcome Brennan Donovan and Wilson Contreras hitting 3-run homers in the second inning. Cardinals beat the Padres 9-7. Dodgers lead the Padres in the NL West division by 4.5 games. Now in the AL West, Houston Astros hosting the Athletics. Top of the 6th inning, this one was all A's.
Second baseman shaded up the middle. That is Bryce Matthews. Here's the 1-2 offering. That swung on drive to deep left field. Going back all 2 bases, looks up, and it is into the Crawford boxes. And the A's lead it 5-0.
Heard on Talk 650 KSTE, Luis Severino struck out 8 in 7 innings to lead the A's to a 5-2 win atop the AL West leading Astros. Houston has a 5-game lead in division there. Now to the WNBA we go. Still no Caitlin Clark for the Indiana Fever, dealing with a right groin injury, but the show goes on. Fever hosting Asia Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces in the third quarter. Fever with the ball. Sophie Cunningham a chance to tie it up.
Vegas has done a nice job coming on the road, keeping Indiana Fever in check offensively. And Sophie Cunningham, you cannot lose her. Good job flaring and fading off that screen on the weak side. side.
Well, this heater from Sophie Cunningham has been so fun to watch.
The call on Amazon Prime in the fourth now. Fever turning up the heat.
So this is now a 5-point game in the final 5 minutes. It's a clutch game where the Fever are 4-7 this year, an area of improvement that they are looking to make. And Mitchell starts off with a bucket to put Indiana back up 7.
Mitchell scored 21 points. Natasha Howard and Aaliyah Boston had double-doubles. Fever beat the Aces 80-70. Here's Cunningham after the game on game night on playing without Caitlin Clark.
We miss Caitlin. We love her to death. She's working her tail off to get healthy and to get back, and we're supporting her. But I think the good thing about our team is we know how to play when she's healthy, and we've learned to play and learn how to win when she's not. And so we're just mentally prepared for that. So any given day, she might be playing. Sometimes she's not, but we're not worried about that anymore. And we wish she was out there playing with us, and I think that'll be soon. But I'm just so proud of everyone else stepping up. The confidence it's giving people that when she is back, they know when they get in the game that they can step up and hit big shots or make big plays for us.
Now to the Mohegan Sun Arena. Connecticut Sun hosting the L.A. Sparks. Kelsey Plum had herself a night.
Here's Alama over to Burrell, short corner, in deep, out to Plum, wide open for three. You can't do that. 30-piece for Kelsey Plum.
The unselfishness of Ray Burrell. She feels the double, just kick it.
18-point lead here for L.A.
Plum had 30 points, 6 assists. Sparks beat the Sun 101-86. Sparks now have won 4 in a row. Chicago Sky hosting the Seattle Storm at the Wintrust Arena. By the third quarter, this one was well out of reach.
Gabby Williams, who played 3 years here in Chicago, driving, penetrating, and going for the and one. Shot clock was winding down. Gabby Williams took advantage.
The call on the WNBA League Pass, Skylar Diggins scored 21 points, and the Storm rode a 56-point second half to a 95-57 rout of the Sky. The Storm improved to 15-10 on the year. One note from college basketball to get to. Kansas coach Bill Self was hospitalized Thursday after experiencing some concerning symptoms and had 2 stents inserted. The procedure went very well, and he's expected to make a full recovery, the university said in a statement, adding he's in good spirits and expects to be released from the hospital. Well, news around the sporting world tonight and into early morning. We do have our first trade around Major League Baseball. As the Arizona Diamondbacks, they have decided that they are sellers. Josh Naylor is headed to the Seattle Mariners. In return, the Diamondbacks will get 2 of their top prospects. What does that mean for Eugenio Suarez, their third baseman, who has 36 home runs on the season, leads all of Major League Baseball in RBIs? We will wait to find out there. Coming up next, we will take a look at the legend, the icon, Hulk Hogan. That's next on SportsCenter All Night.
What's up, kiddos? Clinton Yates here. Coming up on Friday, we'll rank the top 5 pretenders in the NFL before updating you on some off-the-grid stories. That's Friday on Clinton and Friends at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
The Waddle and Sylvie audio experience.
Everything is blue sky and sunshine. Everything is soft serve ice cream and wine. It's all delicious.
Did you say soft serve ice cream and wine?
Yeah.
Is that a combination?
Ice cream, chillin', ice cream.
Waddle's a bad dessert guy. There's not many things that Waddle's bad at. That's his kryptonite.
Get Waddle and Sylvie podcasts on demand in the ESPN Chicago app or listen weekdays 2:30 to 6:30 ESPN Chicago.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
So it was the fourth quarter and we're down by 5. Sweat pouring down my face. Suddenly it hit me. If only I could wrap part of the towel around my forehead. And that's how I became the first basketball player to wear a headband.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
To help those who want to be helped, but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for and there they go. Almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Chicago's home for sports is on Twitch. See what we're up to. Follow ESPN 1000 Chicago today.
Listening to Sports Center all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Judson Richards.
ESPN Radio presented by Progressive Insurance. They offer auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business insurance options. Visit Progressive.com today. When it comes to the Miami Dolphins, it's complicated. We'll get to that shortly, but first, here's what's at the top of our mind.
Half-hour headlines on Sports Center all night.
Well, breathe a sigh of relief, Jets fans. Quarterback Justin Fields is day-to-day with a toe injury. The Raiders released defensive tackle Christian Wilkins due to failure to maintain his physical condition to play. That, according to the team, the NFLPA has filed a grievance. And the first domino falls as the trade deadline approaches. The Diamondbacks ship Josh Naylor, the first baseman, to the Mariners for 2 prospects. And the Toronto Blue Jays stay red hot, beating the fledgling Tigers. The Jays have won 19 of their last 24. As for the Detroit Tigers, who have held one of baseball's best records throughout the year and still have a hefty lead in the AL Central, they've lost 10 of their last 11. Here's manager A.J. Hinch after their latest loss.
Almost all of our guys are having an unproductive at bat at some point, and it's not easy to correct like overnight, but we're working, we're trying. These guys are coming up with a good game plan. They've had great attitudes. They're working, and then they get in the game, and it seems like when one bad thing happens, the dam breaks, and we're back at it again tomorrow, and we can choose to bring that garbage into tomorrow, or we can, reset and get back after it. So, I know this team, and, I know the conversation around it over the last couple of weeks, but offensively, we got to piece some at-bats together. Like, we need more than one good at-bat. We need 2 good at-bats. And then the third guy, and that's one of the things that we're doing well when we're good, is passing the baton. And right now, we're not.
Despite their struggles, the Tigers currently hold an 8-game lead over the Guardians in the AL Central. You're listening to SportsCenter all night.
We're seeing what this guy is really made of. What he is. The greatest professional athlete in the world today. Look at this. He's
The sounds from WrestleMania 3. That was 2 titans in the industry now both gone. The legend, Andre the Giant, died back in 1993, and arguably the greatest pro wrestler of all time, Hulk Hogan, died on Thursday. Hogan took professional wrestling to the national mainstream and became the biggest money-making draw in the history of the industry. In Clearwater, Florida, police say they responded to a call Thursday morning about a cardiac arrest. Hogan was pronounced dead after being taken to a hospital. He was 71 years old. WWE analyst and ESPN New York host Peter Rosenberg on what Hulkamania meant to wrestling.
I mean, honestly, the legacy for Hulk Hogan is essentially the wrestling business as we know it. You know, if Vince McMahon and Hulk Hogan don't do what they did in the 80s, is WWE scoring the incredible deal they have right now with Netflix? Does The Rock become a movie star? Are we watching Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, NXT on Tuesdays? Are all of these things happening without Hulk Hogan? To me, the answer is no.
More from Rosenberg. The legacy of Hogan is a complicated one.
In the last several years, of course, were troubling for a lot of people who grew up loving Hulk Hogan. And one of the things, honestly, that I'm saddest about at this moment is that Hulk never really made the amends that people wanted. He really never took the opportunity to, I think, apologize to fans in a way that would have been super meaningful. And I think that did hurt a lot of people. But the fact of the matter is, as we sit here on the day at which we lost him at 71 years old, I think if we are reasonable people, we understand that human beings are complicated and we don't deserve to be defined by our absolute best moments or our absolute worst moments. And while Hulk Hogan had some bad moments over the last several years, more importantly, Terry Bollea had some bad moments over the last several years, that just does not negate the fact that if you're doing a Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling, he's probably number one with a bullet.
WWE commentator Michael Cole joined SportsCenter and shared his thoughts on Hogan's lasting legacy.
Hulk Hogan's lasting legacy will be that he was probably the greatest professional wrestler of all time. I'm not just talking in-ring performance. I'm talking about the way that he brought our industry into the mainstream, into the forefront of society, where people in every country on this earth would know the name Hulk Hogan, would know the name WWF/WWE. What are you going to do, brother, when these 24-inch pythons get a hold of you? I mean, that will go down in history as an iconic line. Hulk Hogan had a lot of detractors. He was very controversial, obviously, toward the end of his career. But no matter what you think about Hulk Hogan, his legacy as a professional wrestler will probably be the greatest of all time.
WWE posted on X, one of pop culture's most recognizable figures, Hogan helped WWE achieve global recognition in the 1980s. WWE extends its condolences to Hogan's family, friends, and fans. Thanks for joining us. This is SportsCenter All Night on ESPN Radio. Judson Richards along with you. Back to the NFL we go now with the training camp of the Miami Dolphins. Wide receiver Tyreek Hill spoke to the media and hinted that 2025 may be his last year with the team.
This is my first time I haven't been in the playoffs, man. So, I mean, for me, like I said, man, I just got to do what's best for me and my family, dog. If that's here or if that's wherever the case may be, man, I'm finna open that door for myself, dog. As I'm opening the door, like, I'm out, bro. You know, so it was great playing here, but, you know, at the end of the day, bro, I got to do what's best for my career and, you know, what's best. Because I'm too much of a competitor to be just out there.
Hill seems to still be paying the price for his "I'm out" comments, and he just referenced it again after the Dolphins missed the playoffs last year. Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa was asked if everything is okay between Tyreek and his teammates.
I would say we're still continuing to do that. But it's not just with me, it's with a lot of the guys. I'm not the only one that heard that. You guys aren't the only people that heard that. You know, a lot of people that follow football, that follow the Miami Dolphins, that follow Tyreek, that are fans of his. Everyone has seen that. So when you say something like that, you don't just come back from that with, hey, my bad. You know, you got to work that relationship up. You got to build everything up again. And yeah, it's still a work in progress, not just for me, but for everybody. But you know, like I said, he's working on himself. He's working on the things that he says he wants to get better with and do better on. So that's the first step to me, and so I commend him for doing that.
Some of the reaction to that, co-host of ESPN Radio's Unsportsmanlike, Chris Canty, says Tua has been saying too much.
I don't understand why Tua needed to spotlight it by addressing it at a press conference at the start of training camp yesterday. Even if he's asked a question about it, it's an easy response. We handle those things in-house. He didn't need to come out and explain or mansplain the state of the relationship with Tyreek Hill and cast aspersions and cast doubt on the overall team chemistry going into such a consequential year. So to me, that was a miss from a guy that is in a leadership position in Tua Tagovailoa, and it makes you curious to see where this team goes from here.
ESPN NFL analyst Damian Woody on head coach Mike McDaniel.
I always said, like, when stuff like comes out in the media, that's like 10% of what's really going on. It's bad down there. It's bad. Think about this. For you to say that in training camp, that's a bad relationship. You had all offseason to work through all of that stuff to build the relationship back. But for you to come out and voice that on the first day you're reporting to training camp, it is bad in Miami. The Miami Dolphins situation bears watching. Mike McDaniel, he has to I think he's in trouble this year. I don't think they're a very good team. I got serious questions about the quarterback. I got serious questions about how they built their roster. I got serious questions about their locker room. So Miami is a situation bears watching this year.
The Sports Center all night on ESPN Radio. Speaking of leadership, there's a new program leader for UNC football. That's Bill Belichick. The Tar Heels head coach took some time out of his schedule to join Sports Center during ACC Media Days and explain the difference between college and the pros.
The players are a little bit younger and less skilled. Sometimes that's an advantage. There are fewer bad habits to break. But I would say also the players are, I'd say, much more receptive to the coaching. They haven't had as long with the way that they were doing it, through a college career, maybe even through some pro years. Where they were, started to develop some habits that they were comfortable with, and they were a little harder to change. I'd say, with our players, they've been very receptive to everything we've asked them to do.
More from Bill Belichick and his current quarterback battle at UNC.
The player who plays the best. Yeah, it'll be competitive, and we'll see how it goes. Those guys all get an opportunity, and we'll let the competition play out on the field. I can't control how players play, never have, and never will. Performance is up to the players, and then we'll do the best we can to coach all of them and help them be the best they can be. But ultimately, players win the games, and players earn their playing time and their spots on the field, and that'll be up to them.
Now let's hear from the PTI guys, Tony Kornheiser and Michael Wilbon, who gave their thoughts on UNC football.
All right, Wilbon, what is your interest level in Bill Belichick and the North Carolina Tar Heels this season?
Very high, Tony. I think for the first few weeks, and it may wane. If the Tar Heels go 2-3, 1-2 even, I'm going to have less interest. This starts off, though, maybe replacing what some of us had found in Colorado with Deion.
100%.
That was 100%. Such a exciting thing to have at the beginning of college football season. And then they won enough games and they played enough that you're like, oh, my God, I got to see Deion. It's must-see TV. With Belichick, and that's it. My interest in him is about football. I don't care about his personal life. I don't care about what other people seem to care about, the relationship. I don't give a damn about that, and I want it put aside because it's irrelevant. I care about Bill Belichick, the football coach, and what he's doing in North Carolina. Bill Belichick has made trips to high schools, including the one my son goes to recruit his friends. And it's like, oh, my God, Bill Belichick is in the lobby waiting to see Tommy. And come on now. This guy's a god among coaches of any sport in the latter part of the 20th and into the 21st century. So I got great interest in it.
Yeah. Bill Belichick is likely the greatest NFL coach of all time. And if he's not, if you've got somebody else, Bill Belichick is on the short list. And then, I don't care about the Bell at the moment. And then he couldn't get a job in the NFL. He was sitting out there. He was applying for jobs. He went to interviews. He couldn't get a job in the NFL. So he went to college and he went to North Carolina. And now we're going to be able to see if he is truly a miracle worker, because North Carolina's football program, it's okay. But in the ACC, it's not Clemson. It's not Florida State. I'm not sure it's SMU. So what is the number? And you think about the same thing that I do. What is the number where you say, wow, he's a genius here too? Is it 8 wins? Is it 9 wins? Is it 10 wins? Is that possible? And I believe he's the biggest story, as you do. I believe, at least at the beginning of the year, he's the biggest story in college football. And I felt the same way about Deion 2 years ago. You know, these are guys from another milieu, right? They're pro guys. They're coming into college. It's entirely different. How good are they, and how good are they right away? And that's what I want to see. And I think you and I are aligned on this one.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to see. Must-see TV, at least at the beginning. That's it. We're done. Back to you.
Gentlemen, good discussion. Never interrupt Michael Wilbon. Good luck getting tickets, by the way. UNC has sold out every home game this season. Sticking with the ACC, Clemson head coach Dabo Swinney joined SportsCenter. During the discussion, Swinney discussed a change in approach in how Clemson uses the transfer portal.
No, our philosophy hasn't changed in that, you know, we do what we think's best for Clemson. We've signed 5 portal guys in 5 years, but from year to year, you know, the portal's a great tool if you need it. We have the highest graduation rate in America, and we're top in the country in retention. But when we need to fill a gap, if we feel like we have one, last year we had 2 young receiver depth guys leave. We needed to fill that. We signed a receiver. We got a experienced linebacker in Jeremiah Alexander, and then we needed to go get a guy, a starter guy at DN. And we were able to do that with Will Heldt. So that was what was best for us, and that's what we do. So that part's the same. Even whether you're taking a high school kid or a portal kid, the process is the same. You know, do they fit the purpose? Are they passionate about football? Who are they as people? Do they believe in our place at Clemson and fit the place? That part never changes.
Season can't get here soon enough. Clemson's football season opener in 2025 is against LSU. That's Saturday, August 30th at Memorial Stadium in Clemson. This is SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio.
SportsCenter, 50 states in 50 days.
We go coast to coast. We going coast to coast
on ESPN Radio.
All right, for our latest stop, we travel to Wyoming, where Aaron Goldhammer and Mia O'Brien on Amber and Ian discuss some of the famous athletes from the state, along with an interesting fact that you may not have known about Wyoming.
Sometimes we're in states like Wyoming at Cheyenne Frontier Days Rodeo, which is where SportsCenter is today. The list of great athletes from Wyoming, I imagine, is not illustrious. Josh Allen obviously has ties to Wyoming, right? It's one of the first ones that comes to mind. I know Larry Nance Jr., I think, went to Wyoming.
Brandon Nimmo from the Mets has had a solid major league career. Was shocked to find out today he's never been an all-star. And while not an athlete, really important, I would argue, sports figure, Jerry Buss was from Wyoming.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Let's not bury the lead, Tara. We got to get to the escalators because Aaron thinks you are lying.
Casper is the only city in Wyoming with escalators. There are 2 escalators in the entire city of Casper and the entire state of Wyoming.
Wait
the state has an aversion to installing escalators because of the layout of the land, and architects claim that outward construction is simpler than building properties with more than 1 story. To add to this, the tallest building in the state of Wyoming is a 12-story dormitory at the University of Wyoming.
Well, isn't Cheyenne's like a legitimate, it's only a couple hours from Denver. Like, you can't, there's not one skyscraper in Cheyenne that hasn't, we're also, here
not one taller than 12 floors.
Mia, here where I live in Cleveland, there are escalators in every Target store. Like, there's only one, there are 2 escalators.
We got them in Publix.
Yeah. What about moving walkways? Hold on, there are airports in Wyoming. There are no escalators in the airport? Tara, I think this is nonsense. I think this is urban legend.
I'm looking at a picture of Cheyenne right now, and there are no tall buildings in that city.
I am throwing the
I just feel bad for the students at the University of Wyoming. If there's really no escalators and there's this, not 12 stories isn't that high, but to still have to take the stairs, I guess it builds character.
How many elevators? That's what people really want to know. Up next in our travels, we head to the land of cheese to Wisconsin, where we'll check in on Packers training camp. But coming up next, more of the best sound around NFL training camps and our top sounds. This is SportsCenter All Night on ESPN Radio.
The traditions, the rivalries, the drama.
Every week there was something magical.
This is the most wide-open college football season we've had ever.
29 days until week 1 kicks off. College football lives here. ESPN Radio. More SportsCenter All Night coming up next.
Whiskey fans can learn a lot from Professor Carmen DeFalco.
Not too many people that can have sports knowledge and also whiskey bourbon knowledge.
Carmen's amazing. I do like whiskeys and bourbons. Still kind of a novice, and he helps me understand a little bit better what I should be looking for.
I'm a hardcore bourbon guy, and I listen to Carmen Yurko every day.
He can pull out the very essentials that I can't even taste.
Stay tuned for details on the next session of Whiskey U, an ESPN Chicago production.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Bears voted in favor of banning the tush push. They know what the play was, or they're just going on the term tush push. That doesn't sound very posh. Is that a profane term? I don't want it.
It sounds uncomfortable. Go ahead.
That too.
Ow! Ouchie! I haven't done that. Ouchie!
Cap and J Hood presented by ESPN Bet. Weekday morning 7 to 10 on ESPN Chicago and the ESPN Chicago app.
Being blind doesn't always look how others may think. Stargardt disease was supposed to define me.
Retinitis pigmentosa aimed to overwhelm my family.
It tried to cut me down. A blinding eye disease attempted to force me away from doing what I was born to do.
But it cannot stop me. I have the tools.
I will keep moving forward.
Pushing past the limits of this disability.
I know where to find support and where I can be seen.
Loss of sight won't blind our vision. Innovative research, educational resources, supportive community. The Foundation Fighting Blindness is leading the charge in finding treatments and cures for blinding diseases. Learn more at fightingblindness.org. A public service message from the Foundation Fighting Blindness.
If you miss a show or an interview on ESPN 1000, you can hear it anytime, anywhere through the all-new ESPN Chicago app.
You're listening to SportsCenter All Night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Judson Richards.
ESPN Radio brought to you by Progressive. Former NFL safety Tyrann Mathieu gave us a glimpse into his decision to retire. That's coming up. But first, let's get to our top sounds with Marty Hausberger.
SportsCenter All Night.
Oh, my goodness. Check it out on SportsCenter tonight.
Today's top sound.
How good is that? Are you ready to take?
Number 5.
Judson, we start in Cleveland, where the Guardians' Stephen Kwan went deep twice on WTAM 1100.
Here's the 2-2. Swung on and launched. High and deep right field. 2-homer game. Stephen Kwan. And just like that, we are tied at 3.
Number 4.
The LA Sparks' Kelsey Plum puts up 30 on Connecticut on Spectrum Sportsnet.
Here's Alamon. Over to Burrell, short corner, in deep, out to Plum, wide open for 3. You can't do that. 30 piece for Kelsey Plum.
The unselfishness of Ray Burrell. She feels the double, just kick it. 18-point lead here for LA.
Number 3.
Randy Arozarena goes deep in LA for the Mariners on Seattle Sports 710 a.m.
There goes Cal. Pitch on the way, swinging a line shot deep down the left field line. Has it enough? Yes, it is. Goodbye, baseball. It clears the short fence in the left field corner. A rocket line drive. 2-run home run off the bat of Randy Arozarena.
Number 2.
Toronto's Ernie Clement breaks open the game against the reeling Tigers with long ball on Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
1-0. Hit in the air. Deep left field. Going back, Riley Green. At the wall. It's gone. Clement making him pay for the intentional walk to Barger. A 3-run homer, and the Blue Jays have blown it open.
Number 1.
Wilson Contreras gives St. Louis a big lead early on the Padres on the Cardinals radio network.
Darvish with the pitch. Contreras swings and he hits it deep. Left center field. That ball's going to leave the yard. Home run, Contreras. 3 more on the board. 7-2 Cardinals in the second.
Well done, Marty. Thank you. Before we get back to those in training camp, how about those not returning to camp, like longtime NFL safety Tyrann Mathieu, who decided to retire after an impressive 12-year career? Mathieu explained why it was time with Kay Adams on the Up and Adams podcast.
The older I got, the more challenging and harder it became to lead my kids. You know, like at first it was all cool, right? Like I get the weekend off. You know what I mean? But then it's like once you get a certain age, or I guess I should say once you kind of begin to experience different parts of life, I think priorities shift. Right? I think the things that meant the most to me when I was 22, they don't really mean the most to me at 33, And so, I think my kids play a big part in that.
Let's get to those now in camp before they begin a grueling 17-game season. Everyone is tied for first at this point. Hope is high. Here's Browns defensive end Myles Garrett on his expectations.
I expect to get to the Super Bowl. That's our expectation every year. I expect to run back the Defensive Player of the Year. So, keeping both those things in mind, I have to be the very best player I can be every single day, whether we're practicing or playing. As soon as I step foot in the building, I have to be the best version of myself and the best leader I can possibly.
Again, that was Myles Garrett. The Cleveland Browns are one of 4 NFL teams to have never played in a Super Bowl, along with the Lions, Texans, and Jaguars. You've been listening to SportsCenter all night. That will do it for us. For our producer, Justin Osterwick, our technical director is Cam Berry. I'm Judson Richards. On Sportsmanlike with Evan Canty and Michelle is next. You're listening to ESPN Radio.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Canty. Coming up Friday, Russell Wilson is going to be QB1 for my New York Giants. So what should the expectations actually be for Big Blue? It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Get some knowledge. Attend Whiskey U.
How many Whiskey U's have you been to?
Probably been about 10 or 11 Whiskey U's.
Yeah, this is my second one.
Probably 5 or 6.
And I came out to that first one, and I was like, oh, well, this is nice.
Top notch. Carmen's amazing.
From then, it just took off for me.
Stay tuned for details on the next session of Whiskey U.
I'm a sophomore, so I think I have 2 years to go, and I'm hoping to get a master's. Fingers crossed.
Whiskey, me?
No, Whiskey U!
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
At the Verdoliak Law Group, we believe in the old adage, if we've been doing it for this long, we must be doing something right. Being one of Chicago's oldest law firms, the Verdoliak Law Group was with you during the Civil Rights Movement, the Moon Landing, and through 10 U.S. presidents. We've been fighting for the injured since before cell phones and home computers. When we started, gas was 29 cents, the average house cost just under $19,000, and the average income was under $5,000. At the Verdoliak Law Group, we've withstood the test of time by honoring our commitment to put our clients' interests first. That's why most of our clients over the last 50 years have found us through word of mouth from other satisfied clients. In the last half a century, thousands of law firms have come and gone, while the Verdoliak Law Group has cemented itself as a Chicago legal landmark, and we look forward to our next 50 years of serving you. If you want a law firm that has stood the test of time and will fight for you, call the Verdoliak Law Group.
There is an old saying, the only true wisdom is knowing that you know nothing. But when it comes to COPD, knowing the signs can mean the difference between life and death. COPD is a chronic lung disease that may be caused by genetics, frequent lung infections, or irritants like smoke, fumes, dust, or chemicals. The most common cause of COPD is cigarette smoke, but anyone can get COPD. Despite being the third leading cause of death worldwide, millions of people have COPD symptoms but still go undiagnosed. Wisdom might come with aging, but symptoms like shortness of breath, tightness in your chest, coughing, and wheezing shouldn't. If you find yourself struggling to keep up with other people your age, or if you get short of breath walking up the stairs, it's time to talk to your doctor. COPD does not yet have a cure, but it is treatable. Early diagnosis and proper care can add years of better breathing to your life. For more information, visit copdfoundation.org.
This is ESPN Chicago, WNVP, WTBC, HD2 Chicago, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
This is Unsportsmanlike.
So what was your first car? What did you buy once you got to college?
No, I didn't buy it. My parents bought it.
What did you get?
I got a Mitsubishi Montero. I actually drove it my first year in the National Football League. And I got clowned to no end.
Really?
Yeah, they called me Fred Flintstone. You know Flintstone Mobile?
Yeah, with the
They're like, I'm surprised you ain't sticking your foot out the window to pedal your car, bro.
Okay, welcome to the show. We are Unsportsmanlike here on ESPN Radio. ESPN2, we are presented by Progressive Insurance. They offer auto, home, and commercial auto insurance. Visit progressive.com for more information. Along with Vibe Checks, Michelle Smallman, Fred Flintstone. I'm Evan Cohen.
The Ocho, Evan Cohen.
No. You know how many people reached out to me yesterday when you guys crowned me the Ocho because of the 8 interceptions I threw in one game in high school football? I had people reaching out to me left and right about that yesterday. It was really actually hard. No, not you're welcome, Smalls, who's in Bristol today. It was not part of the USL Diner / USL Lounge. Oh, yeah, you don't know. You don't know, Smalls. Cece and I found a place that we have now made ours around here that feels like the unsportsmanlike either diner, lounge, or sports bar. We haven't figured out exactly what to do with it yet, but it's ours.
Inside the building or outside the building?
No, like, what? Outside the building? Inside the building.
Well, you said diner.
Well, it has a diner feel, lounge feel, or sports bar feel. We just have to figure out what we're going to do with it.
Yeah.
We sat there this morning. I've never been so comfortable in my life.
It was awesome.
It was amazing.
The unsportsmanlike corner?
Ooh, I like
that. Yeah, USL corner. I don't know. We have to figure that out. I also learned something about CC that is wild.
Tell me.
Wild. I mean, it indicates how good of a guy he is, but it's also wild. So yesterday we came in, and both of us randomly said to each other that we started watching the movie The Amateur on Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Shout out to our teammates at Hulu who are in this building that we're in now. And I said to Cece, I'm like, I fell asleep halfway through, not because it wasn't good, just because I was exhausted. He goes, so did I. I couldn't finish it. He comes in this morning, we're at the USL corner, and I said, did you finish The Amateur? He goes, you're not going to believe what happened. I said, what happened? He said, my mother-in-law's in town. She wanted to watch it too. So being a good son-in-law, he rewatched the first half and stopped at the exact same spot.
Oh, that is nice.
No, that's insane.
It's not nice.
That's
Bob. What are you talking about? It's not nice.
I think it's
I'm
nice.
dying to finish this movie here.
He rewatched half of a movie
I'm an
twice.
expert on the first hour of the movie The Amateur on Hulu. I'm an expert on it. I don't know how the movie ends, but I'm an expert on the first half. I can tell you how it gets started.
You can write a paper on it.
No doubt.
You have watched the first half of the movie twice and the second half of the movie never.
I can't be alone in that. There have to be other people out there that have done that before.
For
watch
sure.
this at On Sports ESPN, at EVCO Radio, at Chris Canty 99, at M Smallman, 888-SAY-ESPN if you want to jump in. Have you ever watched the first half of a movie twice before the second half?
I did that once on a plane.
You did?
Well, on accident, but kind of similar situation. I've never seen the movie Interstellar, and people love it. It put me to sleep not once, but twice on a flight to Spain. I don't know how it ends.
That's not a ringing endorsement.
Well,
Like,
it's just very
when we-
relaxing. Like, the score is very nice. We're in space. There's a lot going on. But I fell asleep at a certain point, and then, you wake up, you have your little meal or whatever, and then I put it on again and was like, all right, let me watch this, because so many people I know tell me it's such a great movie, fell asleep at essentially the same spot.
Pat Costello, Vegas East. Is CC wild for doing this, or do you think this is as common as he thinks it is? Even though he's not praising himself for doing it. Is this wild?
I've done this with so many movies I can't even tell you. I don't think I saw the second half of The Godfather for like a decade.
But you watched the first half multiple times?
Yeah, I would just watch the first half and then I get bored and bail on it.
That's insane. All right. At Unsports ESPN, at Chris Canty 99, at M Smallman, at EVCO Radio. If you want to chime in on that, have you ever watched the first half of a movie twice, at least twice, before the second half? The movie has to change for the Baltimore Ravens this year.
Ooh,
wow.
good transition.
Look at you.
Look at me.
Radio guy.
Wow.
The Ocho.
I'm a radio guy. So Lamar Jackson said something very interesting. It's factual, it's true, but it's bold simultaneously. Lamar Jackson, how old are you and what's going on in your career?
I'm only 28. I'm really just getting started for real.
I'm only 28. I'm just getting started. He's 7 years in. If you remember, and I'm sure you all do, we looked at Tom Brady's career over the span of 3 7-year periods where in each of the 7 years he was a Hall of Famer. Now he ended up playing, I believe, 23 years. So obviously he had 2 more years at the end. But his first 7, his middle 7, and his third 7, however you want to look at that, they were all Hall of Fame careers. If Lamar Jackson decided, you know what, I'm out, I'm not going to play this year, I've done all I need to do, he's going in the Hall of Fame
No
after
doubt.
7 years.
No question
Does
about
not
it.
need to play another snap. Is he just getting started? Do we think the next 7 are going to be better than the first 7 for Lamar?
Why would I think Lamar Jackson wouldn't continue to improve? That's what we've seen throughout his entire pro career. Hell, that's what we've seen through his entire football arc, right? From Louisville, Heisman Trophy, on into the NFL. People knew him as a runner more so than a passer early on. And then all of a sudden he evolved to being one of the best pocket passers in the entire NFL. So I think Lamar Jackson, from a physical talent standpoint, has unlimited potential. But as we say all the time with potential, it just means you haven't done it yet. Lamar Jackson has to find a way to have that potential, that talent, lead to having team success when the games matter the most. You make your money in the regular season, you make your legacy in the playoffs. Right now, Lamar Jackson is off to an awful start when it comes to making his legacy in the postseason. He's got to find a way to be better. And with the recent success of Jalen Hurts and Joe Burrow, a quarterback that's in his own division, having bested Patrick Mahomes in the postseason once upon a time, it puts Lamar Jackson front and center in terms of a guy that needs to find a way to get his team over the hump in 2025. Like, if we have to keep asking the question about whether or not Lamar Jackson can do it, eventually we're going to land on the answer being no, and that's a scary proposition for somebody as talented as he is.
It certainly is, Cece. And when you're outlining all of that, I'm feeling a sense of urgency for Lamar. I feel a sense of urgency for him. I feel a sense of urgency for the Baltimore Ravens. They've been knocking on the door for a while now. It's time for them to open the door and walk through it. It's time for them to get it done when it matters the most in the playoffs, and it's time for him to win a Super Bowl. And he's technically right that he's got more runway in his career, but I'm wondering if that mindset is actually limiting and that it doesn't enforce the sense of urgency probably needed from him to rise to that occasion in the playoffs. If you're thinking, oh man, I'm just getting started, I have all this runway left in my career, does that give you the mindset that you need to go out there and be like, it's now or never? And do you need that in order to succeed if you're him?
I mean, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, if he's saying, you know, the best is yet to come, in essence, he's won 2 MVPs. I would assume
3-time first-team All-Pro.
And I would assume if he never won an MVP before, he actually would have won the MVP last year. And that's not a knock on Josh Allen, because I picked Josh Allen and thought he should have been the MVP. I think the reason Lamar maybe lost some votes was because he actually had won it before and voter fatigue a little bit. So let's call him a 2.5-time MVP is what I'm going to call him, okay? He's a 2.5-time MVP. What's better, the 2.5-time MVP or 1 Super Bowl win? 1 Super Bowl win, I should say.
I guess it depends on who you ask, because I would say 1 Super Bowl win.
I would too, when you're that good. CC? 1 Super Bowl. Like, if he wins 1 Super Bowl and no MVPs over the next 7 years, is that better than his previous 7 years? I think so.
Yeah, winning a championship. Winning a championship for a quarterback is more important than the MVP.
I think you guys are wrong.
In what way?
I think the 2 MVPs are way more important than 1 Super Bowl for Lamar. I think he's already a Hall of Famer.
But that's right. That's the point.
Because of that.
I know,
the
but,
context.
Yeah, but so I don't think 1 Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts isn't a Hall of Famer with 1 Super Bowl.
No.
That's fair.
No, I'm saying,
graduated into
I'm saying that from the standpoint of the importance to him now, Pat. I'm not talking about what if he's never done any of it. I'm talking about from here on, if he doesn't win any more MVPs and he wins a Super Bowl, that's more important to him than if he wins 2 more MVPs. Lamar Jackson can win 2 more MVPs. Nobody's going to care if he doesn't win a championship.
It's going to be held against him.
I guess that's the point.
It'll be held against him.
Yeah.
Winning more MVPs and no Super Bowls will actually be held against Lamar Jackson, as wild as that sounds.
Well, think about what we do with Aaron Rodgers. 4-time MVP, 1-time Super Bowl champion, and we say his career has been a disappointment in a lot of ways based on his talent individually and his potential to win more championships.
Well, I mean, the clock is ticking on Lamar Jackson. Let's be clear about that, right? I mean, based on the profile, based on the resume, I just told you all, 3-time first-team All-Pro. There have only ever been 7 other quarterbacks to have that many first-team All-Pro nods. Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Brett Favre, Dan Marino, Joe Montana, Steve Young. That's the list. Notice anything about it? No Patrick Mahomes. Lamar Jackson has more first-team All-Pros under his belt than Patrick Mahomes. There has to be a ton of pressure on Lamar coming into this year. He arguably has the best roster in Baltimore that he's had since he took over as a full-time starter in 2019. And this is arguably the softest the AFC North has been since he took over as the full-time starter. Lamar has to show and prove. He has to get it done. Now, I will say this. He's 28 years old. The average age of first-time Super Bowl winning quarterbacks is 29 years old. The average age of Super Bowl winning quarterbacks is 30 years old. So he's right on target, right? Peyton Manning was 30 when he won his first one. Drew Brees was 30 when he won his first one. Stafford was 33. Aaron Rodgers was 27. Joe Flacco was 28. So there go the ages of first-time Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, not named Mahomes or Jalen Hurts. So you can see Lamar Jackson is right in that sweet spot. But he ain't got a ton of runway, to your point, Smalls. You would like to hear more urgency expressed in terms of being able to finish the job. Because when you got a guy that's as decorated as Lamar, that has put up the regular season stats as Lamar, underwhelm in the postseason the way that he has, 8 playoff games, 3-5 record, 5 of those 8 games a passer rating below 80, you want to see Lamar do more, and you want to see him be better. You don't want his performance to be something that his team has to overcome on their way to winning a postseason game.
Once you win an MVP as a quarterback, the only thing left is to win a Super Bowl. He won a second one, which nobody's going to sit there and say, give it back. You didn't win a Super Bowl. It's amazing. He's amazing. But he's so great. He's a Hall of Famer after 7 years, and he's graduated into only one thing mattering the rest of the way, and that's winning a Super Bowl. So when Lamar says, I'm just getting started, all that matters is winning a Super Bowl. All right, you can tweet at us at UnsportsESPN, at EFCO Radio, at M Smallman, at Chris Canty 99. Tweets coming in about whether or not you've watched a movie's first half twice before the second half. I don't know that a lot of people are going to agree with CC on this one, that a lot of people do that. By the way, let's be clear. He didn't willingly do that. That was not something he wanted to do, but he did do it. I promise you, when you get tickets at Vivid Seats, CC, it's not only for the first half of a game. You get to watch the second. You don't have to watch the first half twice. Hey, Vivid Seats is giving you the first half of a game. Come back for next week's first half.
That's an interesting concept.
Actually, isn't it? You beat the
Very
traffic.
interesting concept. Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer, and you can stay for the whole concert, too. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
This weekend on ESPN Radio, 2 teams in the hunt for October go head-to-head.
Juan Soto ties the game.
The New York Mets are in San Francisco to face the Giants. Coverage begins tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern and Sunday at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Presented by Progressive.
Whiskey fans can learn a lot from Professor Carmen DeFalco.
Not too many people that can have sports knowledge and also whiskey bourbon knowledge.
Carmen's amazing. I do like whiskeys and bourbons. Still kind of a novice, and he helps me understand a little bit better what I should be looking for.
I'm a hardcore bourbon guy, and I listen to Carmen Yurko every day.
He can pull out the very essentials that I can't even taste.
Stay tuned for details on the next session of Whiskey U, an ESPN Chicago production.
White Sox baseball, presented by Chicago Sports Network, is on WCIU The U. This weekend, don't miss the Sox take on the Cubs as the Crosstown Series comes to the South Side. Watch tomorrow night with Chicago Sports Network coverage starting at 6 on The U. Watch the Sox on The U, over-the-air channel 26.1 and YouTube TV, plus Xfinity 183 and other cable and satellite providers. Cubs, Sox in the Crosstown Series, tomorrow night at 6 on The U.
This station.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
It's what we were taught, trained, and told to do.
It could be for anything. Helping a friend move.
Listening to a fellow veteran for hours, at any hour of the day.
Or just simply making time for people. A neighbor, a loved one, or even a stranger.
We're often the first to help others. There's no question about it.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
Perhaps it's time to do for yourself what you would do for others.
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Cap and Jay Hood, morning 7 to 10 on ESPN 1000, Chicago's home for sports.
This is Unsportsmanlike.